Hey guys, it is TK Barlow coming to you from ThriveWell Accounting and Advisory, as well as from the Barlow Group Tax and Accounting. So listen, I wanted to just come and give you a little bit of pointers out there. A lot of business owners feel like they're making money. However, at the end of the month, they're still coming up feeling like they're still broke, right? So I wanted to give you or share with you a couple of points. If this is you, if you are feeling like, you know what, TK, I am making the money, I see the money coming in. However, I'm still broke at the end of the month, right? All right. So point number one is something for you to understand is going to be that revenue is not your profit. Okay. The revenue that you see coming into your bank account, that is not your profit. Okay. So this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of business owners do, and that is focusing on the sales. So I'll say, hey, what was your revenue for the month? They'll say, well, I brought in, 20,000, 50,000, and this is my profit, right? And the truth is, no. And you don't have to be ashamed or feel bad if you don't have this realization. So if you can make $20,000 a month and you still feel like you are struggling, here are a couple of things that I want you to look at. All right. Because sometimes this means that your expenses may be too high, right? It could also mean that your pricing may be too low, so that is something that you should also look into. If you feel like you're making a large amount of money, but you're still struggling, something else that you should also look into is, are your taxes being planned for? All right, because oftentimes we look at the taxes as if this is an end of the year type ordeal. This is something we have to handle at the end of the year. And the truth is, no, you should be looking at your taxes at least on the quarterly basis. I was on a phone call today with a client, and I told her, hey, the best thing for you to moving forward is to be in contact with your tax preparer or your bookkeeper on the quarterly basis. If not the monthly basis, definitely do the quarterly basis so that you have an idea of what those taxes are going to look like at the end of the year. So you're not waiting to the end of the year or the beginning of the following year to go back and prepare for taxes. And then you may be hit with a big tax bill, right? And if you're waiting to when the year is completely over, there are not a lot of tax moves that you can do after the end of the year. So if you're saying, hey, I'm bringing in all this money, but at the end of the year, I'm still struggling. What is this about? Because I'm having to pay a lot of taxes back. Then you need to be tax planning on the quarterly basis. Okay. Something else for you to look at is, are you spending money without reviewing your numbers? Now, when I say this, I don't mean you logging into your bank account saying, oh, yay, I have $15,000. Let's go shopping. Let's go, get some more supplies. Let's go do this. Because again, the number that you see in your bank account, that is even that's not your revenue. I mean, that's not your profit either, right? Because once you have this, maybe like one of your big clients came and paid, or maybe you have a special going on for the month, and you see all of this money in your bank account, and you feel like, okay, well, I have money in there. Let me go ahead and take care of these additional supplies that I need, or let me go ahead and purchase this webinar that I need. Or no, that's not how you do that. Because again, you have to consider your overhead. You also need to consider the taxes that are going to be paid off that revenue that you see in your account. And so there are a lot of things that need to be calculated before you get that final number of your profit. And then once you have that final number of your profit, then you're able to say, okay, these are the additional things that I needed to do. Now that I have this profit, your real profit, that real number, then you can plan accordingly to that number, but not just what you see in your bank account and not just assume that everything that you're receiving is your profit. All right. So another thing that I see business owners doing is obviously not knowing their numbers. We just hit on that a few minutes ago. So do you know your revenue from last month? Do you know what your monthly expenses are every month? Do you know your true profit, right? Do you know how much you owe in taxes? If you're saying, you know what, no, I really don't know all of these. So then I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you are not alone. A lot of business owners do not know these numbers. And again, some of us are just checking our bank account. We're like, oh yay, I got a good balance, and they just cross their fingers and basically hope for the best, right? And that is not what we want to do. That is not how we want to run our business. A successful business owner is definitely going to review the financial statements, the financial reports, and then make decisions off that. You want to make decisions off your financial data, all right? And when I say financial data, I'm just meaning off your profit and loss. You want to look at your reports, you want to look at your trends, and then be able to make decisions off that, right? So if you're saying, hey, I have a conference I want to go to this summer, or, I need to go get some more educational credits, and I need to be able to pay for training. I need to do all this by the summer. Then we need to look at your profit and loss. We need to look at and see what that overhead is that you're bringing in. I'm sorry, what that overhead looks like compared to, so yes, we want to check and make sure that you have enough cash flow to be able to do all of the additional things that you want to do during the summertime, or whether that's throughout the year. But you want to check the financial reports first so that you're able to do any type of additional spending before you're making huge decisions that may impact your cash flow. All right. So that is a point number 2 to really talk about. Point number 3 is what we already touched on this a little bit too, and that is tax season. Tax season should not be a surprise. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, nobody really sat with me on a quarterly basis, or nobody really sat with me prior to December or January to talk about my taxes and what I should expect. And you should have an idea of what your taxes are going to look like before tax season, right? So the goal is to definitely not be surprised, to not be shocked, even if you have a tax bill. You can say, okay, I'm going to plan for my taxes. I'm going to set aside about 15 to 20% of my revenue so that I'm prepared for tax season, okay? And so that if you do have a large tax bill, you'll have that money there. But the goal is always, to make sure that you are maximizing every opportunity in all strategies so that you can legally pay less in taxes. All right. So another reason that business owners feel broke is because they are not planning for taxes. Again, if you're not sitting with your accountant or your tax professional at least on a quarterly basis, then go ahead and get on my calendar and I will help you review your numbers and kind of give you an idea of what your taxes are going to look like. But that is very important as a business owner and as a CEO to kind of have an idea of what those taxes are going to look like. Okay. So then for tax season comes around and suddenly you owe thousands of dollars that you were not expecting. That's not good, right? So long as you have like a good bookkeeping plan in place and you have tax planning in place, this would definitely help you eliminate those surprises. Again, if you just need someone as a backup to say, hey, TK, are you able to look at my numbers, look at my taxes, look at my profit and loss so far, and kind of help me with a strategy? We are able to do that. We do offer those services as well. Okay. Another thing that you need is a type of financial strategy. So this is just where you have financial support on your side when it comes to operating as a CEO. We believe that every business owner should know their numbers. Now, this is not saying that you need to be an accountant and you need to know all of the jargon, or know all of the ins and outs of bookkeeping. If you do, that is great, right? But that is really not required to operate as a CEO. But you really do need to know the basics when it comes to knowing your numbers. Knowing if you are coming up at a loss or if you're coming up at a profit, knowing, the trends of your business. What does your business usually look like in the summertime? What does your business usually look like during the winter months? Understanding the trends of your finances is really going to be key. So, but with us at ThriveWell, we give you, the monthly accounting that you need. We give you the tax planning, as well as the preparation, the quarterly CEO reviews, knowing and understanding your profits and your growth strategies. And then also you get access to a board of expert advisors. And so that is the thing that I get most excited about, because not only are we giving you the accounting, the bookkeeping, the tax preparation, the the insight and growth strategies, but you also have access to expert advisors, right? And so these are people that maybe in marketing, maybe in the med spa industry, maybe in the massage therapist industry. So they're able to help you get insight, a deeper insight on, what you should be doing in your business. And if you have any questions regarding, your particular industry, they're able to really help you and coach you through any type of bottlenecks or spaces that you're in where you need a little bit more extra support, right? And so we do offer all of that, okay? Because bookkeeping isn't just about compliance, but it's about helping you build a profitable business. So with ThriveWell, we go a little bit deeper and a little bit further, not only just providing you with the basics to keep your business compliant, but we are trying to help you build a business, like really dig deep and get down to the nitty gritty so that you are able to grow your business, right? And then we also have the ThriveWell CEO Circle that I'm excited about. This is a new community. So even if you have an accountant or an advisory team on your side, we also have a monthly community for business owners who want that additional support, that additional accountability, the financial education, and just want access to resources that will help you grow. We have this, right? We also have this too. Now, it comes within our accounting packages, but it's also a one-off thing that you can purchase as well. It is $97 per month right now. That price is definitely going to go up as we bring on more resources to this package. But if you're like, hey, TK, I have a great bookkeeper, I have a great accountant, and so maybe you don't necessarily need the accounting package, and you just want to be a part of a community that is going to help you understand your numbers even more, because all accountants don't provide the same services. So you may have a package, but they don't necessarily teach you about budgeting, or they're not necessarily helping you with understanding how to pay yourself. So we offer these webinars, these classes, these resources on the monthly basis. And again, right now it is $97 a month, and you also get access to the experts as well. The experts will come in on the quarterly basis though, but you do have access to them too. Okay, so if you are needing to get more information about our accounting packages, definitely send me the word Thrive, and I will get you on a calendar so that we're able to know exactly what services you're looking for. Okay, and then if you're just interested in the ThriveWell CEO Circle, about the community, just let me know that as well. You can definitely send me a message. You can DM me. You can send me an email at hello@tkbarlow.com. But for the most part, what I want you to leave away with is that your revenue is vanity, profit is reality. Okay, your cash flow is what's going to keep your business alive. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to discuss how ThriveWell Accounting is able to help you and support you moving forward. Okay, so in the meantime, cheers to your success, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.